Update. My brother-in-law's ex lost her baby. I've never seen my husband so upset. 37 meters 26F. This is an update to my first post here. Hello everyone. To get this out of the way immediately now. The baby was not my husband's. I spoke to a grief counselor who gave me some ideas of how to talk about it with my husband and how to approach it without. That night the kids were over friend's house, it was just the two of us. I made him his favorite dinner and we sat down and talked. I found out that the loss of the baby was hitting him so hard for two reasons. His brother had told him the day before the miscarriage happened they were planning on naming the baby after his mother, who passed while he was very young, as a surprise for my father-in-law. The second reason is because the night my brother-in-law cheated on Kira. He was supposed to be hanging out with my husband because Kira was out of town. My husband was particularly tired from work that day and canceled. So Brendan ended up going to a bar and meeting the woman he cheated on Kira there. My husband thinks that if he had hung out with Brendan that day he never would have gone to the bar and cheated, and the breakup wouldn't have happened. Kira wouldn't have gotten so stressed out and lost the baby. This is my husband's logic. I'm very happy we were able to talk it through. He's beginning the process to begin speaking to a professional, but he did say that once we talked it out in a constructive way he began to feel better. Fuck. Hope your husband learns that he isn't responsible for his brother's infidelity. Sorry for you all's loss. Wow, that's a lot of emotion to fit into one human. I hope he heals. And this is how it should be done. Communication. Well done. Your husband is a man struggling with his conscience. He'll be able to process and see things in a different way. He'll see that he's not responsible for someone else's actions. For many men that are elder brothers, there's an ill-defined sense of responsibility for younger siblings in ways that one doesn't have any ability to affect. This can be crippling when a younger sibling is in crisis. The problem is compounded if there's been the death of a parent in formative years. Additional responsibility is usually heaped on the eldest. Add to that, so much of the burden placed on the eldest is in subtext and so vaguely defined, it's nearly impossible to articulate. Damn, people absolutely ripped your husband. And you for being naive, apparently. In that first post, really glad that you proved you have a more rational head than this sub. Though that bar is apparently not very high. Hoping you husband realizes it's okay to lean on you and not internalize everything. But that's a hard road and requires a lot of time. Thanks for believing in him. Oh wow. I am so sorry for everyone involved. Especially your hubby. It's not his fault his brother cheated. It's his brother's fault that he cheated. This sounds settled? Oof, your poor husband. All that on his shoulders. No wonder he's struggling. I am so sorry for the loss. But glad your husband was a good guy in this. Just love him and help him through. His brother was looking to cheat and he is not responsible for that. Don't say that to him though. I'm sure everyone who came up with the wild conspiracy theories will be here to apologize. I won't hold my breath. I'm pulling for your husband up. I wish you guys all the best. So y'all, we were all wrong. Fair play op. Let this be a good lesson as to why you should literally never listen to advice from this sub. It's filled with a bunch of bored shut-ins who try to apply lessons from their drama-filled soap operas into other people's lives. Good for you for talking to your husband about it, and good for him for having such a big heart. I hope your husband will understand that not only is he not at fault for his brother's cheating, but also that the stress of that situation is not what caused the baby to die. Emotional stress on its own is not a cause of stillbirth. Losing a baby is a horrible, heartbreaking thing and no one has any control over that. I hope your family is able to support each other and heal. When I read your original post, I never jumped to the conclusion that your husband cheated. This is a difficult situation all around. If my husband was in this situation, I think he would react in a similar way. I hope your husband can get some counseling and realize that this is not his fault. He is fortunate to have a supportive spouse. I hope your SIL gets the help she needs and has lots of support. I wish your family well. Where are all the nutcases that were very sure Kira had a potential affair with OP's husband? He's suffering guilt that is in no way his. It's actually pretty common after a tragic event to look back and think that if you just fixed X, Y would not have happened. Please let him know that his brother made his choices, but that in no way falls on him. Sometimes you cancel an event, and something horrible happens. There are people who cancel a meeting with their parents because their parents are difficult, and then the parent dies, leaving them with the guilt of, I regret not going to that meeting. Death is a damaging event in any context, but in this context, your husband does not hold any blame. I'm so sorry for all of y'all. I wish your hubby all the best with therapy. Everyone on the last post ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's a gigantic leap to even consider the level of cheating and betrayal it would take for OP's husband to impregnate his SIL. Disgusting that so many people easily said that and worse, tried to make it seem too obvious. Imagine you had acted on that advice? You would have lost your husband for nothing. SMH. People are wild. Good to hear your husband is beginning to process this. In addition to what you said, he stated, as an older sibling myself, there's a greater sense of responsibility and pride related to younger siblings. Even when, in all honesty, the parent is far more responsible. As an older brother myself, I am deeply attached to my sibling and how they do in life emotionally, financially, physically, etc., even when I am disconnected from them. I also feel a decent sense of pride in their good actions and accomplishments, like a parent would be. It's hard to explain. With the older sibling's sense of responsibility in mind, it may be devastating for your husband. He thought his brother was doing good, settling down, marrying, having a child, only to have both the marriage and fatherhood be reversed. And add on top of that his feeling of involvement with the cheating. He may feel like he helped mess up his brother's life and killed your nephew. To be clear, he is not responsible for his brother's infidelity and miscarriages or random. He is misplacing blame and connecting unrelated issues due to the disaster of the miscarriage. Not unheard of at all. He will need help and support, as he cares deeper than he knows about his brother. He cares about his SIL. He cares about his recently deceased nephew. And worst of all, he blames himself for the ruining of the relationship and death of the child. He probably feels like he made a terrible mistake and that he is an awful person. He is having a crisis of conscience and will need to grieve. Whoa, plot twist. Didn't see that coming. Well, so glad the baby wasn't his for your marriage's sake and we were wrong. Your poor husband to carry all that emotional burden.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.